Have you ever sat in a class for months, prepared for a test, gave the test, got the grades, and passed the test, and later you realize you can't even remember half of it? Yep, me too. Hi, I'm Angela and I go to Boston College where I am studying learning design and technology. And today I want to talk about a book that I've been reading recently and that completely changed how I think about education. And it is The Unschooled Mind by Howard Gardner. And yes, Gardner is the same psychologist who came up with the theory of multiple intelligence. It's basically the idea that being smart isn't just one thing like IQ, but many different ways of thinking and learning. And this book, he asks us a surprisingly uncomfortable question like, why do students, even the ones who are in top grade or score the best scores, often fail to use what they have learned outside of the classroom? And here is what Gardner has to say. We all start our life with a story that we believe about how the world works, and that story comes from our experience, our culture, or what we have seen, or what we have been told over time. And it feels true to us because it is familiar. It is what we've always known our whole life. And whenever we go to school, we gain new information. And that information might conflict with our story. But unless the new information is clearly connected to something we have already experienced or care about, it doesn't replace the old story. It just sits there. And the moment we're outside of the classroom, we are in default to go back to the old story we already believe because it feels comfortable and automatic. And that is what Gardner calls the fragile knowledge. It's like when you can ace a test or be the top of the class, but we still fail to apply the very same knowledge in our real life work experiences. And here's a very simple example. A child might learn in school about how plants need sunlight to grow, like photosynthesis, and they might ace the test or be the top of the class, but at home, they might still put a new plant in the darkest corner of their bedroom because it looks pretty. Aesthetics, right? Without even realizing, they have just ignored the very thing they learned today. The fact that it stayed in their school brain and never made it to their real life brain. And honestly, I think this happens to adults too. Like we learn about saving money, but we still keep impulse shopping. We learn about how healthy eating, but we are still in default to eating junk food whenever we're stressed. And it's not that we didn't learn. It's just that the knowledge never became a part of how we think and act day to day. So what is Gardner's solution to this? He says school need to make three big shifts. First, connect learning to real context. Facts stick better when they are tied to something we care about in our daily life. And second, teach for understanding, not just for performance. Passing a test is awesome and cool, but real learning it actually shows when you can explain what you have learned in your own words and use it in a completely new situation. And third, help student things like expert. Yes, experts don't always have the knowledge, but they have the ways of thinking. Scientists question and test ideas. Historians look for evidence and biases. Mathematicians break problem into steps. Those thinking habits are just as important as facts themselves. And to be honest, reading this made me reflect my own journey, both as a student and as a teacher. There were so many moments where I could teach a topic well in class, but it still didn't always connect it to my own life. And that's the exact point. Knowledge doesn't fully live until it lives beyond the exam. And I want to be clear, I am a huge advocate for education. I believe that schools are one of the most important and beautiful spaces in our society. But I also believe, like Garner, that in the world where information is everywhere, our real power isn't just knowing facts, it's knowing how to connect them, how to question them, and how to use them. So if you're watching this and if you're a student, here's my challenge to you. Don't let just learning live in your school brain. Take what you know, connect it to your real life, and practice using it when no one else is grading you. That's how you turn your fragile knowledge into a lifelong understanding. If you have enjoyed this and want to explore more about how we learn and how we grow, please follow for more. And thank you for staying with me today.